Welcome to another video of Might and Magic 6. This is a follow-up on the video that I made on creating the party, so which kind of classes combine best. I want to have a short word on the skills and the points that you can distribute before you create your party and enter the game. I decided to do it in a separate video. So you have here your 6 main stats: might, intellect, personality, endurance, accuracy, speed, and luck. So, in fact, 7 stats. And then you have the skills. Some of them are mandatory. So, depending on the class, for example, the knight always come with the sword and ladder, even though we will want to have plate for the knight later in the game. But let's go back to the paladin. Another example I want to show you: the knight upon creation can choose perception, or was it? Yeah, identify. So the knight cannot choose identify, but the cleric can. So there are some differences between the classes on which skills can be added. Also important to know. What I strongly recommend is for the sorcerer have also access to air magic with wizard eye, and maybe one character already with water. Just to give you an example, if you choose a cleric, mind, spirit, body, that's the flavor of the cleric. You have the archer. The archer always comes with the bow, but the bow, in fact, archer is a bad name for a class because everyone can learn the bow pretty early in the game, and then the benefit of having the bow is not so good. But the archer has air magic, so in fact the sorcerer, if you have a sorcerer combined with an archer, you should not choose air magic on the sorcerer. Take something else, diversify. For example, earth magic. Why not? So the archer, it excels not in many things. If you want to play axe with the archer from the beginning, well, choose axe, because you have to choose a weapon. Yeah, the bow is a second weapon, so it's important for the archer that you choose a weapon. And axe is good. You can also use dagger, sword, whatever, but for the archer, don't use dagger. Don't choose 2 weapons because you can wield only 1 weapon at a time. What else is there to choose? Paladins, yeah, even more weapons. Don't pick up chain for the paladin because the paladin is able to use plate armor. This is a bit of a waste. Maybe disarm. It is strongly recommended that one of the characters from the start has disarm. Maybe shield, why not? And then you have the knight. On the knight, if you choose to take a knight, then dump all the skills on it that work for the entire party. So from the start, disarm, perception, great choice. The others like merchant and that kind of stuff, you get it only later in the game. You can't get it from the start. So perception, disarm is, I think, a good combination to start with the knight. Then you have the stats. The knight doesn't use any magic, so reduce intellect. Personality, exactly the same. Personality affects your mana. Don't use it on a knight. And then you have 4 extra points to distribute on other skills. For the knight, of course, might and endurance are strongly recommended. Exactly the same for a paladin. Don't use intellect, but keep personality, because Paladin can use magic and their mana stat is affected by the personality, not intelligence. And for the rest, yes, might and endurance is good for a paladin. Then you have the archer. Archer gets its mana from intellect. So personality, drop it as low as possible. That's another 2 extra points. We have the druid. Druid is difficult to start with because both intellect and personality affect the mana. So a druid in the end of the game is a very strong character, but in the beginning it is very weak because it consumes a lot of skill points with all the magic it has access to, and also the stats. Any stat works on the druid. So here you can't reduce, or I don't recommend to reduce some of these stats. Maybe you can reduce luck. Luck is a bit a strange stat, but ultimately you will want the higher number of luck points as possible on any character. For the cleric, reduce intellect, because the cleric gets its mana from personality only, and the sorcerer is just the reverse. Intellect above all, and don't take personality. In the beginning of the game, your characters are pretty weak. Maybe it is advised to get as, or to start with as many hit points as possible with endurance. I don't think you can dump 25 on any character, but let's see. So the druid, yeah. Maybe if you have another cleric, for example, then you have intellect -2, and then so that maxes out your endurance. Depends a bit on your character creation. But that's the short word that I want to tell you about the stats and the skills. So choose wisely for the skills. Some of them are needed on only one character. Don't start with the same skills on 2 different characters. Try to diversify from the start. You will need it. And then you have the stats with intellect and personality, depending on the class, that you can reduce to save up bonus points for other stats. So that's the end of the video. I hope it helps you in creating the good party and with the correct skills and stats readily available from the beginning. Thanks very much.